Welcome back, fellow fans of Clash of Clans. So excited that you decided to stop by to invest a few minutes of your busy day staying at home to watch this episode of Clash of Clans Attacks. Okay, man, that's crazy. That's what I used to call it. That's back in the old days. Back in the old days, this was called Clash of Clans Attacks. Of course, I didn't talk quite like that, but I will. I'll bring back watching one of my oldest videos soon. We'll do that because, man, those videos from 7 years ago, they were a little bit different than they are right now. Okay, so today we're talking about, I kind of got distracted there, but that's okay. It happens. We're talking about the new update, the new super troops, specifically for me, the super wall breaker. Oh man, I am going to be so sad to see these guys go. It has been such a fun time using just like 2 or 3 super wall breakers. Notice how easy it is to get these wall breakers to just about anywhere. Watch the second one. This was the key one right here. Goes all the way in. Nobody can stop me. He rolls all the way into that interior wall. The third one, he didn't really matter. Although, check it out how deep he gets. He gets all the way in to that innermost wall and does actually take down a wall segment there as well, which is crazy. This is such an easy little handicap for players that are bad with wall breakers like myself. We get the job done much more frequently. And now you'll notice what would be normally one of the most annoying possible bases for me to deal with, this stupid ring base, is going to get completely annihilated by my Hog Rider and Miner hybrid army. No problem getting them right into the core after the Town Hall and everything else in there. Feels good to have a funnel go right for a change. And I have to say, super wall breakers are amazing so far. Now, of course, it's the only super troop that I've tried, and of course, I am also getting these comments on my live streams like, so Galadon, you really like these, right? What are you going to do in a week when they expire? And that's a good point. I'm not looking forward to not having them, and I'm not even sure what I would bring instead. I'm thinking maybe I would alternate the super giants, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get a super giant through a wall like we can a super wall breaker. It's going to be a tough try, but we'll see what happens. In the meantime, yes, another 3-star for Galadon, not even a problem with time. We just absolutely crushed this base beyond recognition, and it feels good. This is happening way more often now that I'm using the super wall breakers. The housing space, yes, it's a little bit costly, but I think that it's definitely worth it. And yeah, let me remind you, by the way. Now, I didn't remind you to use code Galadon. I know that you're doing that already. I'm reminding you to please hashtag stay home. Come on, you guys. Help save a life. You can by just staying home, okay? All right, so let's watch a couple more attacks, a couple of different Legend League bases, and some more OP super wall breakers. Man, these things have just, I don't know, they've revolutionized my attacking. They honestly, they make me feel like I'm way better than I was. And I don't know what's going on, but it feels like I'm a better attacker than I used to be, and obviously it's just that I have a little bit of a free wall breaking experience here. So you'll notice that I'm using pretty much the exact same army every single time, and the exact same fundamental approach, which is drop the Archer Queen down, see which way she decides to go, and then base the rest of my attack upon her behavior. I'm not pro enough to know exactly where she's going to go every time. I'm just barely good enough to keep her alive long enough to get something else done. So the key here for me is to keep the Archer Queen alive. That I am trying to master. I'm still imperfect when it comes to that, but getting a little bit better at poison spells, at getting the timing of the rage down. And then once I kind of have an idea of what's going to happen with her, then I can decide, you know, do I need to funnel? Do I need to try to get the hogs and the miners in after the town hall? In this case, we just decided, okay, we're coming from the top left with the main part of this attack, and notice the super wall breakers. Boom, boom, 3 different walls blasted wide open, and this actually works out beautifully because look at how narrow the funnel has just become. I didn't need to use them on the left-hand side. The Archer Queen gets the Town Hall down. On the right-hand side, the Barbarian King and everybody else gets all of those buildings clear, and what that does is it allows me to have a much more effective heal spell radius because the miners and the hogs are both within range, and it's going to keep those units focused on getting to the Eagle artillery. There it is. The Eagle is down, gets only a couple more shots off, and the Warden ability was there to protect, and that's it. I mean, this suddenly feels really easy because it all comes down to the funneling ability created by the super wall breakers. And so I'm going to be bringing 3 for the foreseeable future, and at least until for the next 5 days, then I have to switch. Actually, I'm super sad about it because I know it's going to make me worse at using wall breakers. God forbid I think that I have super wall breakers and I'm using regular ones. It's going to be a complete fail. But, you know, honestly, this is part of what I call the dumbing down of Clash of Clans. And it's not meant to be an insult. It's just the idea that I think that Supercell is trying to make the game a little bit easier for the average player without ruining the experience for the elite war players. And what I mean is, you don't obviously want to go watch the finals and the final qualifiers and the world championships and see clans perfect warring each other and it coming down to time or having them put in a different tiebreaker like that because there's just too many 3 stars. So there's this cool balance of let's make it easy enough that the average player can get the occasional triple, like me, and you don't have to say because Galadon can 3, the strat's OP, although you never know. We could see a nerf or a balancing come. It's possible. I'm not discounting it. I'm not saying it's out of the question. But for now, this is the only attack strategy that I want to use, and that is going to be Queen Charge, usually at the Town Hall like this, and then the Hog Riders and the Miners. Again, you'll notice, okay, so that was not an ideal freeze. Okay, so I do have moments where things kind of get screwed up, and here's the point. I can still recover from these attacks and most often get really high 2 stars or a triple against these type bases. Now, I'm guessing this isn't a fully maxed out base. You can see it just right offhand. The archer towers are not, the mortars are not either. Those things are again going to slightly change, and we need to remember that again, this is Galadon thinking he's better than he is because he's attacking right after an update with maxed out troops before players have maxed out their defenses. So I need to reel myself in a little bit before I start applying for, you know, world championship teams and tribes competitive team and things like that. But once again, the funnel goes well. The wall breakers have done a great job. The Archer Queen, well, okay. She's still alive, and now she's not alive. But she did a good job while she was up, and the rest of this attack is going to go pretty well. Notice I still have 2 heal spells. Beautiful as they end up approaching that Eagle artillery, and the Hog Riders from the siege barracks join the rest of the troops from the main part of the attack, and I feel like that is a big key to this attack. I have stopped using Yetis and Valkyries and trying to get to town halls with that, and just now I'm augmenting the rest of the attack with a bunch more Hog Riders, and it's working out really well. More often than not, we end up at the end of an attack like this, looking like, man, I've got tons of time left, I've got tons of units left, we are overpowering bases that feel like they're pretty close to maxed out, although again, I have to sit back and realize that there are many defense levels that players have yet to max out. It obviously went a little bit easier on my gem to max episode, but for now, I will take it and another 40 trophies. So let's take a look at one more here. Again, this is a Legend League attack. Again, it's an anti-3-star base. Again, I don't even really think about it. I just go in, I drop the Archer Queen. I'm like, okay, Archer Queen, go get the Town Hall. This wall, who cares? This wall's gonna go down. Check out my coconut loons though. Beautifully taking out 2 Seeking Air Mines. That felt so good. Exactly what they're supposed to do. And then the only concern I had right here was, will the Archer Queen go to the right on the outside of the wall, or will she come back to the inside? Usually this doesn't work out, and here she goes. She's headed out to the right, she's after the cannon, and then miraculously, and actually I call this probably due to the base design, she comes back and goes back into the left-hand side. And this is exactly what I had hoped for, right? We want her to go in and go after the town hall right away, and she does. So here she goes through the gold storage. Now she's going to head in towards that quadrant of the base, and we can start to think about where we're going to send in the rest of the funnel. And usually I'm just thinking Eagle artillery. How can we get to the Eagle as early as possible? I don't always think about the heroes. I got the CC down. King, Queen, Royal Champion, Grand Warden, yeah, they are going to be an issue. But, you know, I just generally count on powering through it. And it feels like things are strong right now. I mean, Hogs and Miners are just really tough. And they can handle that beating with a little bit of, what? That's right, STAP, spell timing and placement. Got to count on the well-timed freeze, rage, heal, and sure enough, working out so far. Here they go. So there's your beautiful funnel, super narrow, everybody moving in and directly after the Eagle. I did use the freeze spells just to try to keep the Archer Queen up. Pretty sweet. Second freeze stops both of the Expos and stalls the Eagle for a little bit, and in we go. So the King finishes his funnel down the left-hand side. Here come the Hogs again out of the siege barracks, and they are just going to pile right in with everybody else. And when all of the units are this tightly grouped, a Warden ability and a couple of heal spells is really all you need. We can mitigate the damage coming from the scatter shots, the X-bows, and the Inferno Towers. Sure enough, here they come, and we're just going to wipe out this base. So I'm telling you, I do feel a little bit fortunate for the way these attacks are going, but I have definitely increased my 3-star ratio post-update. But like I said, I'm not planning on pushing trophies in Legend League. I am boycotting going any higher than about 5,200 or so for 2 reasons. One, obviously, I hit the softer bases down here. And number 2 is Supercell, Clash of Clans team, gosh darn it, you guys need to do something with these stinking Legend League trophies. They are useless to us players up here. And I'm telling you right now, I promise you, there would be a huge increase in activity amongst Legend League and Titan 1-2 players if there was some sort of reward for Legend League trophies. A shop. Come on, you guys can do it. All right. Hey, you guys did it. You stuck around all the way to the end of the episode. Thank you guys for being true #Galafan members. Now remember, stay indoors, be kind to people, penance the animals. I'll see you back here again tomorrow for more full attacks. Galadon!
Galadon!
Peter.
Galadon!
Peter, what?
Oh, never mind.